Hello, hello. Happy Monday. It is a start to a brand new week, and I don't know about you, but I absolutely love Mondays. And today, of course, I am going to provide a bit of a reframe about performance for you today. Yes, today is your day of recreating your own masterpiece, recreating your own life, recreating your to-do list, recreating how you do things such as parenting, marriage, business, even how you show up in your career. And we're talking about today also what happens when you stop looking for applause and you start living life the way that you want. You design your own arpeggio. Excuse me just a moment. I forgot to take a puff of my inhaler. I'm getting over bronchitis, and so I have found a way to show up and do a podcast even while battling my lungs. And so what you experience on this show is what you get behind the scenes anyway with me. And so I'm also going to be sharing with you a movement that I have begun. You probably, if you have been with me for a while, you have noticed that I changed the name. And I changed the name of my podcast because that is the name of my movement, which is the Hype and Flow Studio. It is a transformational space that you come to that doesn't just sit with strategies or to-do lists or hype that ends in 30 minutes and then you go back to the usual way of doing things. No, it is a flow. It is a movement. As a professional hype girl, your nervous system gets rewired. It's not just a minimal thing, it's a lasting movement. Your vision returns, reclamation happens. You begin to put yourself first. Your vision comes forth, your legacy, the way that you want to move in the world comes forth, and the way that you show up anywhere, you turn into a magnetic, iconic, fire breathing, environmental changing enhancer unicorn that no longer goes back to the status quo and familiar, that no longer trades peace and energy for no longer going back to the old ways that you used to do things. That's what happens. You find you again. You find yourself again. I almost said the word literally as if I have to convince you, but I don't convince people. The proof is in the pudding that people in my space get results. In 3 days, I have had clients who have found themselves again, started speaking up for themselves, started setting boundaries. They reclaimed their confidence. And these beautiful people I have had clients that in a 1-hour Zoom call, I kept looking at the top of their head because they could not pick up their face to look me in the eyes. And when it gets to that point, it means that there is a reclamation that needs to be done. And it's no longer acceptable to be walking around moving to the beat of somebody else's drum, moving to the beat of somebody else's blueprint. So what does it look like when you join this movement? What does it look like when you start creating your own masterpieces, aka musical masterpiece, like a piano arrangement? I am a musical gal. I love singing. I have actually had people request that I sing at my job, a lot of places, right? And so it's very cool. I have fans. I also used to play the piano when I was little, and I love playing the piano. I can also hear things by ear. When I hear music, I can hear the tune I can also hear when people are out of tune. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I also can hear when the music, it lights up my soul and speaks to every cell in my body. And have you ever heard music that sounds like nails on a chalkboard? That's what happens when you are out of alignment with the way you want to live your life. That is what happens when you wake up every Monday and you say the words, I hate Mondays. Ugh. I hear it all the time when I go to the place that I have to clock in. Did you know that one of the hardest things that can happen to you when you are growing, when you are reclaiming yourself, is being in environments with people whose only vision is a 401k, who talk as though they have no vision for their life, as though their job is their identity piece. It's harder to go around people when you are healing and they are talking about surface level stuff where there's no vision to enhance their lives, no vision to get beyond what they're going to every single day, whether it's a 9 to 5 or a medical job or a whatever type of job, it's a job, right? So in your career, when you don't have a vision, you become part of the environment, which actually can squelch the fire and cause you to walk around like a skeletal zombie with no life, no vision, and the flesh falls off your bones. That's what not having a vision. That's what not walking through a reclamation is. That's what not speaking up and not saying the thing that you want to say does to people. When you don't have a vision of how you want to live your life, but instead are playing the masterpieces that other people wrote for your life, performance kicks in, and then we get comfortable. So in my world, I don't really give strategies. I speak transformation. I speak reclamation. And if you've been listening to my voice, first and foremost, thank you. I don't take that lightly. If you have been downloading my podcast, thank you. I'm honored. I shared something phenomenal today. I was meant to be buried. I grew up in foster care. Foster care was meant to literally bury me into the ground for the rest of my life. There are statistics for foster kids, and you can do the research, but I will share with you what I have found and learned. Foster kids, the statistics are they don't make it after foster care. They either commit suicide, turn to drugs and alcohol, or are trafficked. Foster care, yes, you can do the research. Foster care agencies are one of the number one trafficking agencies out there. Foster care agencies, I don't know if things have changed, but foster care agencies usually don't provide kids what they need, and at the age of 18, they're cut off. Now, I believe I have heard with some foster care agencies that has changed, where they have like a transition program that the kids go through, which is amazing. But, living out of trash bags and cardboard furniture isn't really a plan either. But foster care was meant to bury me, literally. It was meant to bury me in the ground, but God said no. God said, you are not designed to stay buried. You are not designed to live a life of familiarity. You are not designed to stay quiet. You're not designed, Tiffany, to be part of the status quo. I'm going to raise you up. And he has. I should have been put in the ground. As a foster kid, some of the things I've heard, once a foster kid, always a foster kid. No joke, from foster parents and peers. That's the messaging. And it's like, no. Staying in the foster care mindset would have kept me following some other person's masterpiece of a beautiful piano. I'm going to relate things to music today so you can hear. Okay? I'm talking to you, the one who thinks that you don't have anything going on in your life. You absolutely do. I'm talking to you, the one who's been following other blueprints for your life, and you want to break out, but you're not sure how. You've been performing to look the part. You've been smiling to look great. You've been putting on a happy, brave face, and all of a sudden you're at this place where you want to move out of that. But moving beyond the throes of comfort, you're afraid. You're afraid to write your own masterpiece. Do you want to know what happens when you write your own masterpiece? You ready for the real, raw, honest truth? The people that have grown accustomed to you and that are familiar with you, they're not going to like you. In fact, they may do things to try to sabotage you. And it might sound loving, but they will try to stop you from going to your destiny. When you start writing those musical notes, C sharp, F, E flat, G, A sharp, right? When you start writing a musical masterpiece like Fur Elise, right? If you've ever played that, are you a musical person, right? Playing that is a beautiful masterpiece. But when you get so familiar with playing the same music over and over again, something kicks in because you become a musical genius, right? You already have the notes in front of you already written for you. You become a master at playing the same chords, the same keys, the same thing, and you get into performance mode. I believe this happened to me, so I'm sharing you what happened. I'm sharing with you my experience so you can know that, hey, I see you, and today is your day to stop performing. Many of us are waiting for accolades and praises from other people, the gold stars, the rewards. We're waiting for validation and affirmations from people to tell us whether or not we have the permission to move out of familiarity, whether or not we have permission to do great things and have a great vision. Now I'm going to get a little passionate. So if you're used to like soft, kind, nice voices, I'm telling you my podcast, I'm not nice. I am kind and I am direct. So there is a big, huge difference. Nice doesn't bring change. Nice doesn't bring a reclamation. Nice is fake, and I'm not here to do fake. And you're not here to listen to fake. So let's keep going. There is a performance. You get to a place in your life where you want to get up from the piano bench. You want to stop playing. You're done. You're done turning the pages of somebody else's written masterpiece, and you want to write your own, but you're afraid because nobody's giving you the green light. I can tell you who's giving you the green light, and it's not a person. It's not an actual person you can see. Unless you've died and gone to heaven, you won't see the face of God ever. But God is the one who put that vision and dream inside of you to begin with, not man, not your parents, not your siblings, definitely not your friends. And when you stop wanting to play the masterpiece of approval, you'll also realize that you are surrounded by people who aren't giving you the approval to live your life in a reclaimed manner. Instead, these people have no vision. I have had conversations with folks, loving, beautiful folks that can't see beyond their current job, their current career, and they think that that's all that's there for them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, absolutely not. But also, I cannot keep throwing my pearls to people who don't want what I have. There's a scripture that says, I'm going to paraphrase it, to stop tossing your pearls to swine, lest they trample it to pieces. It's not referring to actual pigs. It's the dream stealers. It's the visionary. It's the vision stealing people. It's the people that you share something with, even if it's encouragement and they don't hear you. They, in a sense, argue with you. They, in a sense, they share something with you, but it's not received. A lot of folks, when you give encouragement, you can tell whether or not your words resonated with them. And you can also tell if people would rather sit in a woe is me pit. And here's what I've learned is that not everyone wants to hear encouragement. Why? Because a lot of folks are looking for people to agree with them in their circumstances. They don't want solutions. They want to still stick in the problem. That is not anything I choose to entertain anymore because I can't I can't fix what people are not willing to fix themselves. I learned in the coaching industry that I cannot want more for anyone else than what they want for themselves. I used to be that person. I remember when I first started and I didn't know the difference. I used to perform so well for people and I got exhausted. So performance is an exhaustion. If you're hearing, I need some water, so noise. It's exhausting to keep proving and performing, but waiting for the accolades, waiting for people to come along and give you praise, and give you permission to start reclaiming your life. That's not you anymore. And if you're in a place where you are ready to reclaim who you are in every area of your life, I have a place. It's called the Hype and Flow Studio. Yes, I read oh, by the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning, if I already didn't, maybe I did. I did rename my podcast. It's called the Hype and Flow Studio. The Hype and Flow Studio is also a studio. It's not a membership. It's looked at, branded kind of like a membership, but it's for the people who are serious and ready to reclaim themselves, ready to stop asking permission, ready to have the fire flamed, not just for the minutes that you're listening to my podcast. No, it's where in minimum 3 days, you will walk away more confident. Your fire will return. Your inner strength will return. Your vision will be enhanced. Your legacy will be enhanced. You will put you back in at the top of your list. You will put your legacy and your vision first. You will become empowered to not only set boundaries and say no to the things that drain you. You will start saying yes to the things that light you up, and you will stop tolerating fake. You will stop tolerating the same status quo. In the Hype and Flow Studio, you find you again. It's a reclamation, and that is happening. I have a wait list because I am in the process of creating it. But by the time you're listening to this message, it more than likely has already happened. So I am going to put ways that you can follow me in the show notes at the very beginning. And I'm going to put the link to the wait list in there so at least you can get on the wait list, because when we go live, you get to choose whether or not you want a seat at the table. And I don't do things the usual way that people do in a membership type of environment. No. It's not about the Zoom calls. It's not about the Hype Girl Power Hours. It's about the transformation that you get. And in my world, and there are people that within even the first day realize they got their return on investment. Even within the first couple of months, they realized, holy shit, this girl means business. I mean business. I am on a mission. And what I'm doing is a movement. It's not just some random fortune cookie thing you get out of a, Chinese food box, or it's not vending machine energy. It's here for those who are ready to walk through their own transformational reclamation and leave behind the blueprints that other people have created for their lives. When you put you first, things change. Things change, and you do not go back to the familiar. In fact, you leave the familiar. That is the most terrifying thing, but the most rewarding. I don't know where I would be if I wouldn't have started this podcast if I was waiting for permission. I would not have started my own reclamation in my own life. And believe you me, behind the scenes, yes, I practice what I preach. I'm not perfect. I am a human. And in my space, I will let people know I am not a robot. Please do not expect perfection from me. I am a human being. First and foremost, give me some grace, as I will give people grace in my space. But I'm here to bring a movement to the masses. I see this as a mass movement. Imagine if I had kept my gift to myself. By the way, that's selfish. By the way, when you have a reclamation, you start being selfless and you stop being selfish because you will start using your gift unapologetically. And everywhere you go, you will be an environment changer. That's what happens. And I promise you that's what will happen inside the Hype and Flow studio. It's already what's been happening inside this podcast. And it's happened with clients. So thank you so much for being here. And I would love to hear what resonated the most with you today. And it's amazing